Yeah, and we'll start the healing, but we will keep an eye on that, and we'll keep an eye on the comments. So there's really space for you there if anything comes up that you can give voice to. And you can, even though I know it's kind of one of those strange things about video that we're trained to like use our eyes to process video, but actually in this healing you may very well want to close your eyes and just be with what is happening within your organism, however you feel sensations. And if you find yourself wanting to watch, it's absolutely fine. But I can promise you that we're not going to be doing crazy things on camera as soon as you close your eyes. We'll probably also be pretty much just sitting with our eyes closed and checking in every now and then. But yeah, if you need to lie down, you can put, as long as you can hear the audio, you can pop your phone or your computer just to the side of you and lie down to receive. You can make contact with yourself by bringing your hands onto the heart, for example, giving yourself a gentle embrace, or one hand on the heart, one hand on the solar plexus. The video doesn't come down low enough, but if you could see that, then my hands, you'll be able to see them doing that. Whatever feels natural to you, but sometimes when we're connecting with deep topics like this, it's incredibly valuable to just demonstrate to yourself on that very physical, sensory level that you are here with yourself, that there's no gap, that this is you healing you through the medium of our guidance.
So again, if there's anything you want to do to check yourself into the group, even if you just say I'm in and check in with yourself in all those places, see if there's anything coming present for you of what you want support in. Or you can just send it to the field and we'll pick it up.
And as we set up the group field more deeply for the healing, you may want to kind of feel this energetic circle expanding from your center, expanding out into the next person, as we all gather together as individuals and as a collective.
And I'll name the people. I'm just going to name each of you. Okay, so Monica and Ray, Anushri, and Analia, hope I'm saying your name correctly, Anna, Jeff, Morella, Emily, and Lorraine. Wonderful. Intention to heal your body. Okay, so we've got you.
And now you can allow yourselves to start to lean back into this healing energy. Literally, a little bit like when you float on water in the sea when it's salty and it really holds your weight, and you can literally hand yourself over knowing that you're supported, having some of that same sense. Hand yourself over to the healing energy. Let yourself be supported and held. and guided, nourished. And welcome, invite from that place of relaxation whatever is the core let's say contraction around the idea of death. So for you, whether it's your own death or someone else's for right now, just gently allow that core contraction to come to the surface. And it's okay if it's like a more superficial one, whatever is most activated. Give your body permission and your being permission to have it be in the space inside this sacred healing circle without an agenda to force any kind of change. Allow healing to be invited in from the realm of the unknown, not thinking I have to go in this direction, but simply open, like an open hand. What does love want to offer to this contraction right now? And if death itself doesn't have a catch for you, if it doesn't feel like that stimulates anything, you could look at like the idea of non-existence, a non-physical existence. Or perhaps the idea of saying goodbye. Let yourself activate slightly so that there's something present in the space. And notice if there's resistance even to doing that. Notice if any part of you kind of wants to turn away. Letting all of that be present with us.
And a lot of when we are working with a fear of death, it has a lot to do with also a fear of life and a fear of that part of ourselves that is not the ego. Like the ego has a tendency to want to control things, and death is like the fear of the unknown and of something that we cannot control. So it's really, in a way, more of a fear of the letting go to something larger than ourselves, rather than actually a fear of the end. It's more of a fear of the unknown and of not having control and of not knowing what's next and not being able to manage it. So for right now, if you can just allow yourself to almost like free fall into the body of light that we're putting all around your field, letting yourself be floating into that and letting yourself be in that space, in that light, kind of free floating in it and be held in it, and allow yourself to let go to it as much as you're able to. And whatever arises in that space, to let that be there. so that we can meet it.
And also let yourself relax into the experience of receiving. For some of us, it can be really hard to let ourselves receive, to actually know that it's safe, that what is being offered is coming from a pure, authentic, aligned place. So you may internally remind yourself that you choose to receive this, that this is a nourishment for your soul, this is a gift. And just as Blessing was saying, the letting go into the transcendent light that is, we could say, able to dissolve form, is very similar to this letting go and allowing yourself to receive. It's just a bigger version. So the opening yourself to receive does align you with that capacity to surrender into the fullness that is your essence, that is all of our essence. And for many, the back of the heart is a portal to this light, to this connection. So you can consciously bring your attention to the back of the heart. The back of the heart is slightly higher than where we think the heart chakra is. The back of the heart is, it's just maybe an inch or an inch and a half higher at the back. You'll probably feel it when you ask to. And you can almost imagine like an aperture of a camera, just very gently opening back there and allowing the light of pure consciousness to stream in, the light of your eternal being.
Don't underestimate the power of this work to reach you wherever you are. The more you open yourself to it, the more you'll be able to receive it. We can really be with you. Even though we seem to be in separate spaces, the consciousness that we all are to collectively is not. It's joined, it's united, it's not separate. So we are right where you are, and we can support you in whatever it is that you need support in. And just let yourself open to it.
And you may literally feel like you're filling up like a balloon as this light penetrates the back of your heart. In a beautiful way, of course, a divine balloon of grace and Shakti, the life force energy, and prana, the breath energy. And even though the mind may say this is more life, rather than facing death. It is this transcendent life that we need a firm connection with in order to face the death of form, because it is only form that passes. Certain emotional and mental pieces, certain habits.
And what I know is that when you can face that, when you can face your own graduation from this physical self that you currently reside in, then you are free. Then you can enjoy, then you are free to make choices without bondage, without a holding or grabbing onto. And it allows an opening for joy and for grace and for peace, because nothing in the world can have dominion over you any longer, because it's what the only thing. And in some ways, like the media, if I don't watch the news, but I know many people do, and it has a tendency to propagate fear and to put that more into the field, partially to get more ratings, to get people watching, so that they're worried, so that they look and they want to know more and they want to know more. That's all an external engagement and connecting into a fear field, which is really, in some ways, this is a pandemic of fear more so than it is a pandemic of anything else. So when when we can release and let go of that, when we can really accept that, yes, we will all graduate, we all have an expiration date, you cannot get away from that, and it happens sooner or later, um, that it really gives you the opportunity to enjoy what's present in this moment. In this moment, you're not dying. And maybe you're somebody who is, but most likely the people that I see here are not. So, you can enjoy that process of being alive without worrying whether you'll be alive the next moment, and not buying into that field of fear. Chow is just looking if there's anyone else that wanted to join, so that's why she's looking down on her phone. So really, really encourage you, and for those that that are here in circle, like if you can also send your love and support to others that are joining you here in this field, because our collective consciousness to support one another in healing and in raising our vibration is what's going to be needed. Really, this is a time where developing deeper spiritual connection is really imperative. um, a lot of what I've seen, because I saw a lot of this coming, and my experience of it was that it's literally an opportunity to raise up your vibration, because if you resonate at the frequency of fear, then that contraction, that heaviness is what attracts dis-ease or discomfort. But if you can resonate on the place of in the space of surrender and letting go, then it lifts that vibration, and your experience will be very different, because your immune system is boosted the moment that you don't contract. So we want to support you right now in letting go of any areas that may be experiencing some contraction, whether it's the mental state that is trying to figure it out or have understanding of everything, or it's being connected to that force field of fear that some people are propagating, or whatever it may be. Just allow that yourself to become aware of those places that feel that contraction, and to maybe slowly blow on the embers of love within them, because that's ultimately what they are. It's just a seeking love, seeking encouragement, seeking that light that's within every cell. So just blow on it, kind of blow your love into it and become aware of that part of you, and wherever you might feel it physically, maybe place your hand there. If you feel it more than in the mental sphere, just breathe in some light and spaciousness into that area. And just meet it without judgment, without trying to make it be anything different. Just say hello, welcome it, don't run away from it, just invite it into the space. It doesn't have to be pushed out of the space, it can be welcomed in. You might be surprised that when you stop resisting even the fear of death or the fear of lack of control or the fear of the unknown or even the fear of fear itself, that it relaxes, like in the invitation and the welcoming and the inviting into the space. It dissolves that kind of gripping tightness. And that ultimately is what death is. It's like the ultimate relaxation. You know, when people die, everything relaxes, and that's why often people, when after they've transitioned, they look so peaceful because they're no longer contracting.
And whatever is present here for you, welcome it in, as Blessing was saying, without needing it to change, without an expectation that it should be a certain way. Just welcome yourself, all of yourself, the parts that resist death, the parts that are almost, you could say, looking forward to it.
Sometimes I apologize for the loud sound. Sometimes when I'm trying to clear things out of the field or kind of release things, I make a little bit of a loud sound. So just incorporate that into your experience.
That's okay. And the key with all of this work, and especially around something such as the fear of death, is that you want to be very light-handed with yourself. So what I mean by that is no pressure or expectation, like by the end of this week, I'm never going to be afraid of death. You're meeting yourself where you are, and you're inviting your being to go on a healing journey. And whether you travel a millimeter or a mile, it's not important. Because just like the snowball starts with that first grain of snow, or the stream, the river starts with that first trickle of water at the top of the mountain, we each have no idea how our journey will unfold. What we do know is that we can meet it as it is. And the more spacious you can be, and the more you can welcome the light and the transcendent healing into your body, the more that the dense contraction of identification and fear and attachment and all of the other habits, we could say, that tend to go along with being human, they very gently start to dissolve. Not because you're cutting them away, but because the light, the transcendent light of the divine, is an expander, it's an opener, it's a relaxer. It naturally makes space and embraces everything in its path. So you're not trying to be stuck in either one, like, oh, I just want to feel the transcendent light of my being and I don't want to deal with my human, or oh, there's so much fear coming up and I'm just caught in the identification with it. As far as possible, you want to open your awareness enough to have both things be present at the same time. Sometimes it may feel more like a TikTok, you go from one to the other and back again. That's also okay. Keep inviting yourself to not get fixated in one side of the equation, because we're really working with both sides through this whole healing journey. We want to give the humanness space and healing and freedom. And we also want to deepen the transcendent connection with that which is prior to all of matter.
And again, if you haven't already, if you want to lay down or sit, lean back into something, make sure you're comfortable as you're receiving. If there's anything you want to share, you're welcome to do that as well in the comment section. And don't be surprised if maybe some emotions come forward. That's okay. Welcome those too. Let whatever is present be present. Let it meet you. Meet whatever comes in this moment into the space with you. Just keep meeting it with love, with gratitude, with welcoming energy. And a few people that aren't here that I know, Julia and Zabilla, that wanted to join us. A few other people I can't think of right now their names, but there were a few others that wanted to join us. Just knowing that you're in the space with us.
And as you see this movement of blessings, if you have your eyes open, just start to feel the connection between the crown of the head and the base of the spine. A bit like a lightning rod. That the crown of the head is connecting with the cosmos, and the base of the spine is connecting with the earth. And you are allowing the free flow of frequency through in both directions. You're making as much space as you can for whatever is present. And again, you're just practicing. 1% is absolutely perfect. There's no expectation. As gentle as you can with yourself, really compassionately understanding that you are doing the best you can. And then also reminding yourself that some of these feelings may not even be yours. And with this inner spaciousness, you can ask the divine to clear out, a bit like expanding from the inside out and squeezing out any feelings that are not yours, any stories around death and dying that are not yours.
That's the other thing I was going to say too. Yeah. I love how tuned in we are. You know, it's amazing. Like Estrella and Charo and I are really working with the field, and I was also sensing earlier, actually, before Charo spoke it, sometime earlier, that some of the stories that we take on around death and dying really are not our own. It's like we almost dedicated that belief to our parents or to whoever gave us an idea of what it was being. There's like a loyalty in it that we have to fulfill the same belief system in order to express loyalty and dedication and you know I don't know what the other word is, but and that may not even be your experience or your knowing of it.
Mm.
You don't have your own knowing of it yet, maybe even, it's just what it's borrowed.
Yeah.
What are your beliefs? Are they really yours? Or are they given to you by society or by your parents or by whoever you were around or by whatever you saw and someone told you about what dying is all about? Maybe something completely different. Just open to the possibility of it being something totally different than what you thought.
Mm.
Whether it's a death of that little ego self, or whether it's a death of your physical self, or a death of the life that you've held dear, and the understanding and knowing of what it was, being able to control your little world, which this is an opportunity, what we're going through in life right now, collectively, globally, to give some of that up. Some of the, like, this is my life and this is who I am and this is what death is and this is what life is and this is all of these ideas that are solidified in matter sometimes, but really are not what truth is. Truth is in this moment. Truth is in this beingness right now. It's not in the future. It's not in the past. It's just what's right here, right now. Just keep meeting that with your breath, deepening your breath, really moving inside, just as we're asked to do. Continue to move inside. And whenever those kind of awarenesses come up, where I feel like we're clearing the field, not just from your stuff, but whatever may be around you or what may be in your lineage. I can feel that Estrella and Chao and I were really connected in all of that, and then Chao spoke it. So that is like confirmation that it's really happening.
And you can give your body and your being permission to release on that level. Sometimes, as Blessing was saying, there's a loyalty that we've taken on. There's a loyalty that we've taken on with the beings that we came into life with, often family members. And that loyalty can have us almost feeling guilty that if I let these feelings, if I let this go, I'm being disloyal to the people that I love. And young infants, human babies, when they come in, are huge bundles of love offering, you could say, to the beings around them. And so that feeling of disloyalty can be quite strong. So mentally you can give permission inside of yourself to gently have those layers of familial and societal belief be stripped away if your being is ready. Again, there's no forcing. All of this necessarily has to be a natural letting go, just like a flower blossoming. And if it's just from the bud to like one petal, just a tiny opening, it's perfect. There's no right or wrong, but you're just giving permission and allowing.
Yeah, it's not a hammering at. You cannot open a flower with a hammer. It's just a gentle allowing. And knowing like it's like love in this space that I really feel like there's a profound amount of love in this space and holding you right now, each of you, each of us. There's this, and love can't be seen, it's like the wind can only be seen or observed by what it moves. So just let it move within you, let it move around you. Welcome it in. Welcome it from inside you. Love can share space with everything and anything, including fear.
You could say that love is the only thing that's not afraid of fear. Everything else has a resonance with fear on some level. And love is that pure essence that is essentially untouched by fear. So that's why as we welcome space to open for that impersonal love, that big divine love, it actually allows fear to release its grip. Without needing it to, because love knows the reality.
And at any time, if you also need to do like a clearing breath, feel free to do so. Or to move, or to whatever feels natural and organic in the moment.
And what's coming up in the field right now is I'm always going, it's like a vibration or like a pulsation in the heart. And this time it's in the front of the heart. And it's almost that dance, you could say, of the human between the letting go into the expanse and the contracting, you could say, into the individual. And so just very gently allow your being to know that these two things don't need to be in opposition to each other, that they can actually, that they do actually coexist, that in reality the fullness of the transcendent self, the divine consciousness, you could say, is always like the mother embracing the child of the humanness. The humanness is not evicted when the mother enters. The child is fully embraced. It's just seen to be what it is, not identified with. But there's no resistance or rejection, including of the fear of death or any other fear that the human organism can have. Fear of being shamed, fear of being rejected, fear of being abandoned. These are all valid, painful experiences in the human life journey. And there's no denial of that. It's not that you leave the reality where that hurts and step into some eternally transcendent space. It's actually that human experience is cradled by the love that you are. And that means that the fear of death is cradled by the love that you are. So in the front of the heart, and you can bring your hand to connect there if you want to. Just let yourself lovingly know that there's no opposition here. There's no competition here. That there is space for all of you. And you don't have to decide which one to be. That you can be eternally a paradox and find that not paradoxical, not find that problematic. And with that opening in the heart comes a deeper relaxation. So welcome another sinking back, if it happens naturally, another deepening. And really give yourself permission to enjoy relaxation for a moment or 10 moments, just really recognizing that perhaps through the stress of recent events you haven't been really relaxing. And let the physical tissues of your body let go. Let them soften and empty out. Thank you. Thank you, my way. And again, even a 1% relaxation is a huge gift to your nervous system. We can deeply underestimate the power of relaxation. But this doggy who is joining us right now in the healing team is a master.
Yes, she's a Reiki healing
deep
dog.
Relaxation.
She's already asleep.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
From barking to... And that is your invitation right now. No matter how much your system has been on that alert, like the dog barking, like, got to protect, got to watch out. In this moment, you can fully welcome relaxation. Doesn't mean that you won't go back to alert in the following moment if it's needed. Always have the choice. But you can give yourself that permission to fully embrace relaxation. And as it feels like the healing energy gently starting to come to a close for this session, just allow yourself to feel appreciation for your being, for your willingness to welcome this healing. Appreciation for the wise one inside of you who is choosing this deeper engagement with life than some people may be choosing.
And just feel whether you relate to the Bodhisattva or some other being that's a divine being in your world, whether it's some other Mary or Kuan Yin or Buddha or Shiva, whatever you relate to, Jesus, whatever it is, whatever figure it represents to your infinitely compassionate, loving, benevolent, kind, patient, gentleness. Just welcome that, or your higher self. Welcome that beingness to be in front of you, to be behind you, to hold you, to be above you and below you, vibrationally holding your field, helping you to raise your vibration. And just imagine that that being is blowing light into your heart 3 times, into the back of your heart, blowing light into your belly, up your spine 3 times. Light and loving energy. Blowing light into your 3rd eye, activating your intuitive centers in the heart, in the belly, in the 3rd eye. And last, just feel that ray of light coming in through the crown and cascading around your auric field, moving down the body and grounding this energy into the earth, anchoring it deep into the heart of the earth, of the mother, and sending your love and gratitude to Mother Earth while you're doing that. And all around the planet, to anyone who needs it right now. Just see them as they're standing or sitting or walking on whatever part of the earth they are, whether it's on sand or on ground, whether it's on cement or wood or wherever they are, their homes, their gardens, wherever they are, just see that love meeting them from the ground up and rising up to their heart, to their belly, to their heart, to their 3rd eye, connecting us as a global community in unity consciousness. I really believe that the coming of Christ, as they call it, the new Jerusalem is us collectively, that the consciousness of Christ is born within each one of us, that is the rebirth of the Christ consciousness, of the return. It happens in each one of us. And then it's like a 100th monkey effect. The more awake people are, the more people wake up, the more others around the globe wake up. It's like they catch the wave. And the fear is just trying to understand or hold on or grab whatever it can, because it doesn't understand when it releases and lets go and merges and lets the identity of self go into the one, that's really an opening into a greater sense of being, not a less than, really into the more, into that spaciousness. So just welcome that for everyone that's joined us here today, and everyone that wasn't unable to, and anyone you want to send it to, and around the world, and for all sentient beings. We just ask that all sentient beings are liberated and enlightened, and take the opportunity for awakening. awakening to the consciousness of unity, awakening to their divine selves, awakening to the truth, the eternal truth that we were brought into creation by. And just hold that spaciousness and that consciousness for a moment and a few moments in silence as we complete. And Maitri is a good reminder that we completed. And I'd love to end on a prayer that Amma says, which is means that may all beings be happy and have peace and be enlightened, all sentient beings everywhere in all directions of time and space. And the words are Om. We say too.
Loka
Namaste.
Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.
Now you say
Om
Ditto.
Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. That one.
Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.
Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om
And if you would like to share anything that came forth for you during the healing, or anything that you are taking away, your gratitudes, or even perhaps someone was inspired with a particular action to take in this 24 hours or 23 hours before our next round of healing, please feel free to share that in the comments. I'm loving all these different languages coming up, and it's good to just give voice to that,
just so that you can celebrate it and really anchor it, and also by acknowledging it and kind of saying, okay, I taking ownership of that experience for yourself, what you created, and what you might want to take away with you if you're joining us again tomorrow at the same time. Just giving yourself permission to see what wants to be birthed. Maybe something wants to be birthed from this moment to the next time we see you. And feel free to invite others if you feel so inspired. Thank you for coming and making this a part of your day.
Yeah, and we'll just give a little practicalities for anyone who doesn't know. We'll do the healings at the same time every day. We may have to adjust on Tuesday because the organizer, forgot that I have a pre-existing healing client, but we'll let you know about that. We may have to shift it half an hour later. But in general, we'll do the healings at the same time every day, and it is designed to be kind of a cumulative journey. So as much as possible, the suggestion is to kind of do each healing in turn, because it's like the depth that we can take your energy system to, and the amount that we can clear out and bring in expands with each
exponentially.
Yeah, with each round of the healing.
Grows.
So we want to give you that gift as much as possible.
And it's also because we're getting to know your energy system, because as you all may know, that we do this work with clients for paid work. And holy shit. Emily wrote, holy shit. Wow,
Shift.
wow.
She said, holy shift.
Oh, shift. Holy shift. I love it. I have never felt more grateful to be me. Oh, I feel so supported. And Mother Mary came in and I made these sounds that were such a blessing to connect and love. My body is a million times lighter. Thank you, thank you, thank you so. Oh,
Yay.
Hugs and kisses, Emily. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I'm so glad. Holy shift. I love that. You weren't even cursing and I did.
Yeah. You're the naughty one. And
thanks for this gentle journey, Anna. Thank you for joining us, Anna. So grateful to have you here.
Yeah, so grateful for all of you.
And for your courage to show up for this, because the subject matter wasn't a lighthearted one, and it was like that on purpose. We didn't want it to be something superficial. We really wanted to meet people on a depth. And the more we get to know your energy system, the deeper we can go with this work with you. So again, it's cumulative, and it'd be wonderful if you can join us again whenever you can. Yeah. And feel free to invite others, even if they weren't part of the beginning.
The recordings will be here. So anyone who you share with, they can come into the group and they can do the healing. And you also can repeat any of the healings that you want to through the recordings. And what we found through doing this work is that the way that the energy is transmitted kind of gets encoded in the healing itself. So in the video, in the audio, as you go through it, the energy is still available. So if people say, "Oh, I missed out," or "I'm starting late," just reassure them that our spirit already knows who has an intention to come in, even if they're coming in later.
They wanted to be here.
Yeah. And so you can reassure them and just encourage them to go through at least the first video like this, so that they'll have just a sense of how we work and can sink in. And
we're aware too that today was Easter, so a lot of people couldn't join us because they were doing their Easter thing. So, and some people may not even be on Facebook. They'd have to join first. So just know that you're held in that space, and we'll continue working with your energy field even when we're not here. And you can make a contribution. There'll be, if you choose to make a donation, we certainly welcome it.
We'll put all the links.
There'll be a link to do that, to make it really easy
for different currencies. And
that whatever you donate will be multiplied 1,000-fold and returned to you in whatever form you most need it.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey says, thank you all for your love and care. We are all moving into a new awakening, and it feels so good to be alive. Yeah. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you. So wonderful to have you here. Live every day like it's your last day. That's what it's all about. That's right. John F. Kennedy, huh? Okay.
Wow. Yay. Well, thank you so much for being here. So much love. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Hooray. All right. Happy Easter. Bye-bye.
Bye.